People try to misuse mathematics to prove themselves correct in fields where it doesn't necessarily apply. Across many different fields of inquiry, there are cases where people try to use mathematical notation to place a veneer of legitimacy over arguments that really don't benefit from it and even contradict it. From the social sciences to theoretical physics, there are so many situations where someone will concoct some imagined scenario, and then they'll assign mathematical notation to it in the effort to try to make it seem like something incontrovertible and something that's rooted in hard objective fact, when really all they're doing is just putting they're putting an equation over it that does balance out and does make sense objectively, but the things they're assigning those values to are not necessarily representative of anything in reality. And it's a common trick that people try to use. They try to deceive their audience by making it seem as though, well, I'm placing these hard numbers over the hypothetical situation I'm talking about, and in so doing, I'm making a point that can't be argued against, because look, the numbers add up. Look, the equation balances out, and therefore what I'm saying has to be objectively true. It has to reflect reality. But of course, that's obviously not the case. I could make up any insane scenario I wanted to and just assign mathematical notation to it, and that doesn't mean that it represents reality. For example, I could say, well, if you have, for each raccoon you have living within 3 miles of you, your likelihood of contracting skin cancer increases by X percentage, and so forth. And I could make up all sorts of crazy things and just place some numbers on them. And as long as the numbers added up and everything balanced out at the end, I could say, well, there you go. That's obviously how reality works. That's how the real world works, because I proved it using mathematics. But of course, that's crazy. It's just a method of deception that people use. They try to use the the cold hard fact of mathematics to try to assign a certain legitimacy and certainty to their ultimately very fragile arguments. And it's really just about deceiving people and trying to trick them into thinking that they made a better argument than they have.